Hi guys, so we made our little car into rubber band power. What I'm going to do this time is see if we can convert it to propeller driven. So to do that we need the top again, because we'll stick the propeller on the front here. We don't need that. We probably want this. I don't know if it will be strong enough. We might need more rubber bands. And these ones are getting a bit old and they do tend to break when I wind them up. But we'll see how we get on. We don't need those extra weights in the back. And we need to be able to attach the rubber band at the back here somewhere. I might just use a paper clip. We need, thinking about it, we need a couple of paper clips. And we'll need some plastic beads. It might work without them if you think of some way of putting a bearing in there. But no, we'll stick to using beads. You might have to be inventive if you haven't got any beads. Oh, and you'll need a pair of pliers. That's annoying. You might be able to get away with just bending it by hand, but it'll be a little bit awkward. You need to straighten one out. As best you can. This is where a pair of pliers will make life a lot easier. You could just tap it on something hard to help straighten it out. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but relatively straight. You need a hole in the middle of there. So we'll use our pin again. This one's actually got a little mark in the middle. Right, and the hole you make should be a nice loose fit for that. Okay, we're going to have to do some bending in a minute. Oh, I'll just show you roughly what we're doing. You might be able to get away with just one bead. You might not need two. That's going to go through there. We're going to put a propeller on the front here, which we'll make out of cardboard. And at the back here we're going to bend that into a hook to hook the rubber band onto. And then that's going to go back through there. And I think we might be able to get away with just bending that down like that, taping that on the top, and then we've got a hook for the rubber band at that end. We'll find out in a minute. I haven't actually tried this before. This is me thinking as we're going along. So, propeller. You could get complicated and make a circular one and cut slots in it, or we could just try a flat one. We'll try a flat one first, because if a flat one works, that will be easiest. Let's move all the stuff out of the way. Right, size, think it through. We're going to put this propeller on the front of here, so the biggest the propeller can be is the distance from there down to the ground. If it's any bigger, it's going to hit the ground as it's going along. So use some of this. Let's just cut a bit off so we get less flapping around while we're working. And if we make it, I'm going to say about an inch. This is about an inch or so wide, or 2.5 centimeters. So it's going to be something like that. And the length of it, we can't go any more than about, in this case, 5 centimeters. That makes me think we might not have enough power with just a 2-bladed propeller, but we'll give it a try. So it's going to be 5 centimeters radius, that's 10 centimeters diameter. Yeah, this is going to be quite a small propeller, so it may well struggle. Trim that odd bit off that side. Right, this is going to be our propeller. What we're going to do is we're going to twist it in a minute. But first of all, we'll make a hole in the middle. I suppose we could measure it, being as I've started using a measure. Oh, that's 3 centimeters wide, so the middle is about 1.5. Okay, so that's going to be our middle. This thing, I'm going to bend, let's see, about there somewhere, because that's going to go through there. But you'll also find it handy if you bend it again that way. So when we stick some sticky tape on it, it'll help to hold it straight. I think we might be in trouble here. I think this might be much too small, but we'll go for it. So, bit of tape. Like that. Now, we're going to twist it so it screws into the air. And depending on which way you're going to wind it up, it's going to unwind the opposite direction. So if I'm going to wind it up that way, it's going to unwind that way, so we actually need that to be twisted like this. As you can see, we're causing a few problems to it as we're doing that. So we're going to wind it that way, and it's going to unwind that way. We may have trouble. Okay, a couple of beads. These are to keep the propeller away from the bottle top. And at the other end, we need to bend a hook. I do it that way, and then I go that way, that way, that way, and back that way. That's our hook. We go on there. Wind it up and let it unwind. This is where bigger wheels would have been handy, which we had to trim down, if you remember, because then we could have had a bigger propeller. Drop that through there. And we're going to hook that on there. And we want another bit of tape to hold that in place. Right, so I'm going to wind it that way. You might find it better to actually put a little bit of washing up liquid on the rubber bands, because then they last a bit longer. It lubricates them. I'll be surprised if this has enough to get going. Oh dear. It's touching the bottom already. What can we do about that? I think if we can't go any lower, we could make some new holes in the bottle so it's a bit higher up. Follow that line down. That's lifted us off the ground. If you look at the rubber band, you'll see it's forming extra knots as it's winding up. That'll probably do for now. Right, we didn't get any movement, did we? We can try it on the smooth floor, see if it does move, but we might have to do a bit more work with the propeller. I'll try it on the floor. Well, before I could try it, one of the rubber bands broke. So I'm going to put some washing up liquid on these this time to give them a bit of lubrication. They still break, but they don't break quite as quickly. Well, it went a bit, didn't go very far. Well, we got some movement, but I can see the pink band is broken now. That's the problem with very cheap rubber bands. I could make a bigger propeller though, couldn't I? So I think that's what I'll do. I'll make a slightly bigger propeller. We've got a couple of rubber bands left, so we'll have another go. Right, I've doubled the rubber bands, so they're doubled over in there. There's actually 5 rubber bands there now, and we've got the bigger propeller. Previous one was 10 centimeters diameter, this one's 14 centimeters diameter. So we will see what happens. Caught it on my finger. Oh, and that went so much better. Try and let it go straight this time without catching the propeller. Much better. So there we go. A propeller driven, simple, basic car. Rubber bands for the motor, which didn't last very long. Couple of paper clips for the shaft of the propeller and the hook on the back. A couple of beads to give us the friction or frictionless bearings, and a bit of bent cardboard for the propeller. You could do better than this. I'm doing this as basic as possible. I think I've said that in every episode. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.